liquor tastes sweeter in this town. Could it be it's the same as the last? I swear I've seen your face elsewhere before, just as familiar as a bottle and a glass. Hey darling, sleeping on the blacktop. Hey darling, running through the trees, honey. Hey darling, leaving for the next town.
All right, everybody, welcome back to episode number 2 of the Back 40 Skull Sessions podcast. I am Shane Poor, back here again with Christian Garner. With Travis Clawson, he's back in the studio with us again today. And we've got a couple of new guests with us today. We've got Dawsen Turbyfill, who is a member of Appalachian Holler Hunters, and Justin Johnson, who is also a member of Appalachian Holler Hunters. Guys, thanks for joining us today.
Yes, sir.
Glad to be here.
All right, guys, so we have had a very eventful day today. We're going to go through a couple of introductions. I want you guys just kind of talk about your background and what you guys do, and then we'll go into what's been going on today. So, Dawson, you're one of our fishing guys, correct?
Yes, sir.
How'd you get started?
My grandfather used to fly fish all the time, and when I was younger, I'd watch him, and it was always really interesting to me. And I got a little bit older, and one of my buddies that I was really good friends with, he actually fly fished a lot, and I went with him a time or two and kind of just taught myself. And
I hear you.
I've been doing it ever since.
I got you. Working into the guide work a little bit?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Getting into the guide situation.
Heck yeah. Justin, how about you? You the turkey man's what I hear.
Yeah, that's what I like. That's my favorite. I got into hunting, probably like most people, squirrel hunting, when I was a young kid.
Yep.
Dad used to take me coon hunting a lot, and I loved it. And I just got amazed with turkey hunting.
Yeah.
That you could call a creature to you like you can, and them answer you back. So I really learned how to do it on my own. Everything I learned in the turkey woods, and every turkey I kill is like my first one. I get excited as a youngin', so I really enjoy turkey hunting.
And then I hear you and your family got into competition calling a little bit?
Yes, my boy won the state championship down at Raleigh, and when it was in 2010, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep, he was good, and the first year he did it, he come in second, but the second year he placed first in it. And
won the whole thing.
Yes,
huh?
And he qualified to go to nationals in Nashville, and he decided he didn't want to go. I don't know if he was worried about being too many people or what, so. But that's it. I wish a lot more kids would get into it. And I'll tell you what, them kids out there today,
they did a good job, didn't they?
The 10 and under was great.
Really
yeah.
I mean, they was great.
Well, it's a great thing for the future of the sport. It does your heart good to see kids that age getting into calling, getting into hunting and stuff that early.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Dang right it does.
Well,
yes.
Christian, you want to go over what we have been doing today as far as the youth hunt goes?
Well, I'm going to tell you what. It's about time to crack open these rowdies because I'm wore out. We've been done everything. We've been kicking since about 5 o'clock this morning, about everybody. Some of us, like Travis, are what, 4:30?
15 after 4.
That's what I'm saying. We've wore out today. We've went and done it all.
It's been a rough day. It's been a great day.
It's been a great day.
Absolutely.
From the time it started to the time.
But I will say this, I was unconscious until I drank one of these.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I was feeling pretty rough this morning. It done perked me up. We're doing pretty good.
I heard you drunk a green apple the other day and didn't go to sleep the next night.
I was up till almost 12:30 the next night.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I'd say.
Had you wound for sound, didn't it?
I don't never drink energy drinks.
Yeah.
And these are pretty good. I like the kick they give you.
Yeah.
I like the taste of them. So
One of the best things, honestly, they ain't got, they're better for you than any other energy drink out there.
They're actually
These are
better.
0 calories, the ones we're drinking here. Some of them others are, 90 calories, the highest ones.
Yeah. They're actually better than most soft drinks.
Yeah.
They ain't good.
Well, they're not loaded with sugar or anything like that. And that's,
Right.
Yeah.
I think these are 0.
Yeah, 0 sugar.
0 sugar.
Yeah.
Right.
And we got all kinds of vitamin C and stuff like that.
You name
Vitamin B
Green tea,
and B6, B12.
electrolytes, up there competing
Turbo
with
lights,
Gatorade.
carbo lights.
Yeah, we're
Every type of other
Every one
light
of
we
them.
can
Rowdy.
find.
And Christian's going to Florida, I think, after the show.
That's it. I'm getting ready to put an IV rowdy in my arm.
That's what I was
driving to Florida. Got 11 hours worth of driving.
Absolutely.
Get a plane ticket.
Well, I wish we could get a plane ticket if I could afford it. I'm a little too broke for it. But no,
Well,
we've had a.
past talking about our woes, let's talk about what happened on today.
Yeah.
Happened today. What was going on?
Shane's
True
the,
enough.
if we didn't have him, we'd
Yeah,
get
now,
plumb out of
now that
That's
the
it.
pity party's over, let's talk about the
Yeah.
turkey hunt here.
We've had a
boys.
great day. Turkey hunting, or are we going to start out?
We're
here?
going to start with the youth
Yeah,
hunt
the
today.
youth hunt. All right. Well, like we'd mentioned in our previous podcast, as a team of Appalachian holler hunters, we decided to put on a youth turkey hunting competition, get youth involved, get them outdoors, the whole nine. We started 9 o'clock this morning. We had a handful of birds come in. We ended up with 6 birds out of about
6.
35 entries.
Which,
for a
for the
first
weather
year.
and how
And
cold
the-
it was, that was not
Oh
bad.
man, it was this morning when I got when I woke up. I think it said it was like 25 degrees here in Elk Park.
Yeah.
At
Give
my
or
house,
take.
it was 15. But now I did get up at 15 to 4.
Yeah, it
Right.
was cold this morning, and when
Yeah.
it cracked daylight, it was very cold. It was
Gosh.
very cold today. We were down on the river. It was cold.
That's it. So it about had us worried of as to how it was going to turn out today. But we had 6 really good birds come in.
Mhm.
A lot of happy youngins. You couldn't ask for anything better. But we got set up this morning, got everything rolling at 9. We had our good buddy Benny Vance come in and made barbecue, real good barbecue.
That was a good
son,
barbecue.
Yeah.
Once he had that thing rolling, you could smell barbecue a mile up the road.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
telling you what.
Yeah.
It was
It's
awesome.
good stuff. But
And-
we got a good time, fellowship, meat,
And we had some awesome turkeys killed.
real good
The
turkeys.
turkey that won the contest was a hammer.
I
It
mean,
was a
hell,
good one.
That was a big bird.
Big old
Yeah,
bird. Come
it
in
had-
what, 23 pounds, 21 pounds?
I think that one was not the heaviest. He was
Yeah,
not
it
the
wasn't
heaviest,
but it had the
but it had
but-
the longest spurs and the longest beard.
10.5 inch beard.
Inch and-
inch and a 16th on
And an
one, and inch and an eighth
eighth.
on the other.
Yeah.
Well, and that was we were having trouble measuring the spurs because the spurs were turning.
Hooked.
Yeah, they
Yeah, it
hooked.
was
I mean,
hooks. Straight
Limb
up
hangers.
hooks.
yeah, it was a limb hanger.
Yes.
definitely
It was
was.
and it was the boy's first turkey ever.
It was his first
Oh.
turkey.
First
ever.
turkey he's
Really?
ever killed.
Yep.
And he's getting a full body mount. He
That's
won the
Full body
competition.
mount,
That is awesome.
Tacticam, big old trophy, and a $300 bone collector call kit, son. You
And
couldn't-
a smile from ear to ear.
Oh,
you
That
couldn't
is it.
absolutely.
you
He's
couldn't
tickled
beat
to
this.
death.
And son, he was nervous. He
Oh,
come in
he
early,
was.
and
Yeah.
he's the son of a friend of mine.
Right.
And Dustin come over, and I said, "That's going." I told him, I said, "When you breast that thing out, be gentle with it, because that one's going to be hard to beat." And he said,
Yep.
"You really think so?" I said, "I'll be surprised." And son, he told that boy that, and that boy was pacing all day long. They
all
never
day.
left.
And they got here
They
early.
did- they got here early, and they
at
never
like,
left.
I don't know, 11 o'clock. They killed at 9. They got here at 11. They sat there at one of these tables we had set up for until 3 o'clock.
Right.
Nervous. You could see
Yeah.
me sitting there tore
Son,
up all day long.
Every bird that come in too, he's
He
looking,
looked.
he's looking, he's like,
He was
he's like,
back
"Hey,
there
hey, hey,
still,
come,
yeah.
come here, come here. How big is that one?" I was like, "No, you ain't got nothing to worry about. Don't worry. It's a
No,
good bird.
Good bird.
It's a good bird."
But
But we
gosh,
scored
yeah.
him by NWTF rules, and I think he won by 2 points, 62 or something like, or whatever it was.
Yeah, it's like 62.8, I think was
Yeah,
his score.
the
in
next
WTF
one
score.
was
Good.
60 point something.
Yeah.
So he won right at 2 points as
Right.
margin of victory. So
Good deal.
I mean, he took it.
Yeah.
he
Right.
took it.
Gosh, yeah. And then second place bird was a dandy.
Yeah, it was heavy.
It was the heaviest bird.
22
It was,
pounds,
That was the one
something
that
like
was
that.
20-some pounds, 21, 22 pounds.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's a heavy bird.
It was a heavy bird.
Gosh.
It
I think it
didn't-
had an 8-inch beard is what killed
Yeah,
it.
it had a short beard is what killed it.
Right.
It had inch-long spurs, but it had a short beard, and it just. But it was still an awesome bird.
Gosh, yeah.
They took home a Tacticam.
Tacticam. They
Trophy.
took one of the other. It was like a $200 bone collector call kit.
Yeah, awesome.
And
call
some mouth
kit.
call, mouth calls, the whole 9. Slate
Right.
call, box call, locator calls. I mean, it come with. They're loaded down. They're good to go the rest of turkey season now.
Right.
Yep,
Right.
yep.
And I tell you, boys, the one that tickled me more than anything, my buddy down at Morganton, his little girl, she killed a
Yep.
Jake. They
Yep.
were out this morning, and he had 4 gobblers gobbling on the roost. They come down and still had 4 gobblers gobbling. He said she looked at him. She's little. She's probably
Real
4
little.
or 5,
Right.
She might be 5.
maybe 5, yeah. And she looked at him and she said, "All right, I'm cold. Let's leave." He's like, "Are you kidding me?" They've got 4 gobblers having. She's ready to go.
I'm cold.
So
Let's leave.
yeah, he packed her up and they left. They walked out. He looked at her. He said, "I looked at her about 10 o'clock." He's like, "Man, we entered. I didn't have to work." He thought he was going to have to go work a fire. He worked Forest Service. They're doing a controlled burn today. He thought he was going to have to work a fire, so he didn't have to work a fire. But he said about 10 o'clock I looked at her. He said, let's slip back out there and see if I can get one to gobble. He said, we got to the edge of the field, and he said, I called once, and it just took off. I mean, that bird just started hammering, come in strutting, blew up. I mean, head was just red as it could be, and he's like, good gosh, we've got a monster here. And then he said he looked, and it just had that 4-inch beard. It was a Jake. Had them little nubs for spurs.
Yeah.
But son, he texted me.
I tell you what, there. Aside from the guy who won the grand prize, there wasn't no youngin' out there happier than that little girl this morning.
Oh, yeah.
She's pumped up.
And he texted me a little while ago and said she's still all right.
That's awesome.
Or just above herself. She's hooked for life.
That's it.
That's all she wanted to do is go turkey hunting.
That's it. I'm telling you. That's all it takes.
They didn't get to stick around for the trophy ceremony, but we got her a trophy and we got her a medallion. So
Yeah, where she's set up.
yep,
I'm telling you, that's all it takes to get a young hook.
Absolutely.
yeah,
Keep them out of trouble.
That's it.
That's it.
You know, it keeps them away from video games and this and that. You know, get out and then
That's right.
God's creation here and
All right.
you know,
Enjoy it
enjoy
while
it.
you can.
absolutely.
Then we had a couple of our Holler Hunter regulars. One of our Holler Hunter regulars, he swung and missed this morning.
Yeah, Bentley, I
Yes.
reckon.
No,
I
it
didn't hear
wasn't
the-
Bentley. It
oh,
was
it's Isaiah.
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 I didn't hear the story on it. What did they tell you, young boys? Or?
Yeah, it was. He said they called the bird down and it come in. At first, they was filming like 3 or 4 jakes, I think.
I seen that on
He
cell
showed
phone.
me
He
a
showed me
video.
that, and they
Yeah.
had 4 of them fighting each other up
Yeah.
there. I mean, all
Yeah.
over each other.
And he said they got out and was, after about, I don't know, 3-4 hours of sitting in the blind, they got out and went on foot and got after a bird, and it just slipped them or something, and then they went on and got on another one, and it got pretty close, and I guess Isaiah's nerves got the best of him, and he just missed.
It happens.
But, yeah,
Yes.
that's
Happens
part
best
of
of
it.
them. Just ask Mitch about Georgia last week. 2
Yeah.
weeks ago.
Yeah.
yeah.
He ain't
Ask,
got no name to
ask
talk.
Christian about last year too.
Yeah.
You trying to get me tore up already, ain't you?
Fixing to go right here, boys. Mine's fixing to start getting slapped.
Listen.
But we've already
yeah.
went over that one last week. We'll not get
It looks
back
like we'll
into
have to
that
review
story.
it again.
Have to review it again.
Bring out the tape.
Don't make me pull it up.
All in all, it's been a great day. It's been a fun
Gosh,
day.
yeah.
We've run
It's been a
ourselves to
really good
death,
day.
but it was all worth it. Just to
Oh,
see
yeah.
the smile on those kids' faces, it was
Gosh,
all
yeah.
worth it.
I mean, we had every youngin' that showed up got left with multiple things.
Multiple
Yep.
things.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I mean, whether it's trophies or prizes, door prizes, call, you name it, they left with something. Every youngin' that showed
Everyone
up
here.
left tickled to death.
Whether they went hunting or not, they left with something.
That's it.
I'm glad we were
I
able
don't
to
think
do
half
that
of them
too, because the people, even the kids that didn't get birds, I
Right.
mean, they still left happy.
Yeah.
You got to
because
think,
they-
some of them
Yeah.
kids that didn't get to go hunting this today, and they got a turkey call.
Yeah,
they're
I
going to
mean-
go home and piddle and play with that. They're
their
going to get
parents are going
excited.
to be
They're going
ready
to
to
want.
wring our
Yeah.
necks, but
Right. Yeah, we're going to be tied there, but there's going to be youngins want to go hunting next year.
Oh yeah, mine's sitting at the
Listen.
house right now calling.
Yeah,
I just showed y'all that video.
Yeah.
Called up.
She's going over her call routine for next year. She's like, "This is the box call," and then she'll do the box. All right, now we're going to the hoot competition. She's getting ready for next year,
That's
boys.
it.
Yeah. Shane will be hunting next week with her.
yeah.
Oh, she's
Yeah.
going next week.
Oh, yeah.
I took her up to Dad's today while we were doing this because she got tired of sitting out here in the sun.
Right.
And I dropped her off up there, and I walked out to the barn and called in. There's a monster up there. I mean, and he's just tearing the woods down.
Yep.
And Christian's like, take her up there, see if you can go kill her. I was like, man, that ain't going to be fair there. I said, that's a big turkey. That's a 24, 25-pound monster. I know exactly which bird that was. I was like, we'll leave him for next week. We'll keep him outside the competition. But
He
he's,
had me
Yeah.
tore up, showed me that video, and that thing got him like, it's 200 yards. From
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
yeah,
Yell it.
and it was
My
coming.
God.
Every time I would just, yep. I mean,
It'd hammer.
And he was coming to me. I had to shut up and go back because he was coming.
God, yeah.
I mean, he was coming on a string. Every time he gobble, he's getting closer. I'm like, all right, I need to quit before he comes up here and gets in my lap.
Yeah.
That's it. But yeah, you couldn't ask for a better day. I mean, you really
No.
couldn't. Have.
No,
No, it was awesome.
No.
for a
We had-
first-time thing, I think we've done really well.
Well, that's it. And we're going to make this an annual thing.
Yep.
God willing, we're going to try to do it every year.
Right.
It's going to get bigger. It's going to get better. We're going to try to get more people involved with it. And
Absolutely.
we already had so much support from the local community.
Yep.
So a
Yes.
lot.
A lot of
I couldn't
people.
tell you how much we thank all our local guys.
Yeah.
Local
Well-
restaurants like Carolina Barbecue,
Yep.
Sandy's,
Yes.
3 nails.
Christmas 3 nails hardware. Christmas
Hill.
Tree Hill. H&H.
H&H.
H&H. That's
Trucking.
right.
That
No,
what is the
everybody.
place that give us all that stuff that you went to?
Valley Forge Auction.
Valley Forge
Valley Forge
Auction
Auction.
Company.
Yes.
They give us a ton of door prizes.
Yes.
That's
Shout
it.
out to
These
those guys.
Yep, these local guys helped us out a ton. Toe River Game Calls. Them boys give us a bunch of stuff.
Yes.
all these-
Tacticam.
And that's our big guys really coming close.
Yep.
Tacticam give us 2 Tacticams to give away.
And a big thank you to
Nice.
Philip Culpepper.
Big thank you.
He
to
went
those
out
guys.
of his way to help us promote this thing,
That's
and
it.
he didn't have to do that. That says a lot for that man. That he's a good guy.
That's
Yep.
it.
He's a very good guy. We look forward to meeting him. We get to go meet him next week. Get to go talk to
whatever.
him. So.
See Strutmasters next
Yeah.
weekend and see.
Oh yeah.
Go
I
talk
I mean,
about that.
We're going to get to talk to him. We're going to probably beat him, but I mean, it is what it is.
That's it. Get down there and whoop them.
Yeah, I mean,
that's all right.
That's all right.
That's all right. That's fun. I'll be wanting to come up here and hunt with us next year.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
But like I say, it is a heck of a day. I tell you, my favorite thing all day was that calling competition.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was
Absolutely.
fun.
That
It
was the
was
funnest
fun.
thing. Watch them youngsters up there, especially when you first got started. Everyone was nervous.
Yeah.
I mean, they tore up.
Yes.
Tore up from the floor up. And one of them get up there and they'd barely tap on that call, and they'd kind of look and they'd see
Yep.
anybody listen.
Yep.
Like, what's everybody gonna do? They gonna laugh at me, scared to death. And they at first 1 or 2 get up there and everybody clap for them, and they'd straight up smile like they
Yeah.
Yes.
they'd absolutely
That-
slayed the biggest dragon
My
on
favorite
earth.
one was the little 4-year-old girl.
She
Yes.
was something
I
else.
mean, she,
Yes.
Now, see, that's one reason that the judges have to be hid, because if I was a judge and she got up there, she won.
Right.
She'd won the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she won.
it's tough to do because we had to hide the judges good. We had to give
Yeah.
the youngin, number the youngins, so they based off a number, so we didn't know names or nothing.
Right.
But it was awesome.
It was
It was
awesome.
a good time.
Well, that one little boy, he tickled me. He come up there and you told him to do an owl hoot, and he's like,
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, he started hitting that slate call. I didn't want to say, I was trying to figure out what to say to him because I didn't want it to come over the wrong way. I said,
Yeah.
"We're going to
See,
do
I
an owl
actually
hoot."
think he was trying to do an owl hoot
I
with
think
a slate.
I think that's
Yeah.
what he was trying to do is do an owl hoot
I've
with a
seen
slate.
2 people do that,
Yeah.
and it's pretty cool. But
I've never seen
I've
it.
never seen it. I've never been able.
you got to be pretty skilled to not make it sound like a turkey.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's what he's trying to do. And I said, "You want to try to make a hoot with it?" Like, I don't know how to do that. Just go hoot with your mouth. And he did.
I
think
told him.
he still plays.
I told him before
yes.
the competition started. I said, "You give it to Gomer Powell, hooty hoo, hooty hoo." I said, "You'll win the whole thing."
You'll win it. You'll win it.
And he's like, "I ain't doing that." I said, "Come on, man."
Just do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
But yeah, that was probably my favorite thing all day long was watching them young sit up there and
Yes.
call.
absolutely.
I mean, like I
Yes.
say, you could not have asked for a better day as far as how that went.
Well, I tell you though, we went from 15 degrees to
To-
60.
To 60
And
in a matter
sun-
of about 3 hours.
And boys, I'm
If
sunburnt.
that.
My face and my
I'm
neck is.
burnt.
I'm scorched. I'm
Lord,
sunburnt.
Nikki, Travis's wife, son, she is
She
locked
looks
for
like
this
somebody
evening.
dipped her in a bath of beet juice.
That's it.
My buddy
True.
Lane got really
Yeah, poor
burnt.
old
He
Lane.
messaged me after we left and he said, "Dude, I did not know I got this burnt."
Yeah,
I was like,
son,
"Yeah, dude, you're toasted."
Yeah,
Oh,
but
man.
man, like I say,
I'd rather it be like that than it be, freezing.
Yeah, absolutely.
wind.
Everybody
It-
not
it
wanna be
ridic-
sitting out there,
Yesterday
so.
we was out here setting up. It's what 38 degrees. What
Yeah,
we
it
checked
was-
it, wind
Yes.
13, 15 mile an hour, about
Yeah.
to freeze to friggin' death.
Yeah,
we
it
was
was
hooked
rough.
up to the burn barrels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't even have to use the burn barrels today.
No,
So it was
no,
awesome.
It is perfect. Bluebird sky.
We
I mean,
couldn't ask
beautiful.
for a better day to have a
Gosh,
competition,
no.
especially considering the weather we've had the last couple of days. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
we had
Yeah.
snow 2 days ago.
Yes.
Yeah,
I took a video of it and sent it to Christian. He posted on some of our social stuff.
yeah.
It was 2 days out from the turkey contest, and it is
And
snowing.
you get out here today and you sunburnt.
And you
Yeah.
sunburnt, yeah.
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 You know.
Welcome to the North Carolina mountains, right?
That's it.
Yes.
That's what people don't understand.
Yeah.
There's a lot of places in the country that get some crazy weather change. If there ain't nothing crazy as what we get up here in this place.
That's, you
I'm
don't
telling
like
you
the
what,
weather, wait 10 minutes.
Wait
Yep.
10 minutes, you'll get something else.
That's right.
Yeah. But, I guess that'll lead us into how everybody else done this morning.
Yeah.
How we
Well,
start.
no, let's go into our first break, and then we'll get to that when we come
Yeah,
back.
There we
Good
go.
deal.
All right, guys, we're going into our first break. Stick with us. This segment of the Back 40 Skull Sessions podcast is brought to you by Bone Collector Game Calls, the official game calls of the Appalachian Holler Hunters. Whether it's locator calls, turkey calls, or deer calls, you can find all your calls at bonecollector.com, proudly made in USA.
Man, are you tired?
Dude, I'm killed.
Man, how can you be tired? It's opening day of turkey season.
I know, we've been scouting all week.
Man, take one of these rowdy energies. Hit a lot of fire under you real quick. That's better now, ain't it?
Oh, yeah.
Now we'll run through the woods like a madman.
Like a Cheeto on cocaine.
Let's go get it.
Let's get it. All right, guys, welcome back to the Back 40 Skull Sessions podcast. And we're going to jump right into our hunts and stuff this morning. We were all out and about. Everybody on the team just nearly was out either filming or hunting with kids, or, as in mine and Christian's case, beating in some time on the water, just wasting time before we had to come up here and open up. But
Yep.
All right, so who all went hunting this morning?
I took my daughter Lily this morning.
Yeah?
It started about a week ago. We'd go out and do some scouting, doing this and that. So we went, I think it was Monday, right before we eat supper, we went up there, blow the owl hoot, and we didn't hear anything. So we walked over to the other side of the hill there and called down in another holler with the owl hoot just to see if we could locate some birds. And nothing. So we come back down. We'd seen some fresh scratching going up, so we come back down, and I said, we might order two right here. So we blow the owl hoot, and there was 3 turkeys gobbled. 1 by itself, and 2 sounded like they was almost in the same tree. I said, there's some turkeys we can hunt. We know there's turkeys here. So she said she was excited, really excited. And we went on home, and I think I went back the next day and heard them again. Pretty close, same place, and I thought, well, they're going to be here. Well, Wednesday it was raining, so I thought, well, we ain't going to go back Wednesday. But it kind of cleared off and it stayed warm. So I went back. We didn't hear a bird. Then it snowed on us, so we didn't go. So, but I went back yesterday evening and blew the owl hoot. Didn't hear a bird. And I thought, well, it's just where it's cold, So went this morning and didn't hear one on the roost, and we didn't hear a bird. But we went and we hunted and we called, and I had her call some, and just to get her, so it was.
You got to start somewhere.
Absolutely, we just having a good time.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, we was having a successful hunt. Me and her, bonding for what
Right.
And but like I said, the killing a bagging a bird is just a bonus.
Absolutely.
That's it.
That ain't just. The successful hunt ain't the kill.
Yeah.
Right.
But we had a good time. And
did you ever find those birds that you were on earlier in the week?
No. Never did find them. Never heard one.
I have heard that probably 4 or 5 times today. People that come in, they have been patterning turkeys all week, whether it be going out and scouting and listening to them every day.
Yes.
Had one guy that had one on cell camera. He had a Tacticam reveal out, and it was seen him every day, every morning at 8 o'clock, even when it snowed. That bird was there at 8 o'clock. They were sitting there this morning. Bird never showed. But I heard it from several people that they just this morning they acted funny.
Right.
I mean that's the way it goes with turkeys.
Yes. Yes.
There's no way to guarantee 100%.
Well, they got a brain that big. Whenever you're thinking they're going to do the same thing, they're probably not thinking that far ahead. They're just going where there's food and where there's women.
Yeah, and something you do like calling a bird in. Say you mess up and it does something,
Yeah.
Well, you think, boy, I ain't doing that no more. And then the next time you do it, it works.
Yeah.
Right.
And it may be the next day.
Right.
Well,
on the same bird.
On the same bird.
There's a lot of times we give these animals a lot more credit than they probably deserve, but then there's other times they make us look plumb foolish.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
Well, Dawson, what about you, buddy?
I hunted this morning. I took a youngin'. It was kind of spur of the moment. I hadn't planned on hunting in the competition today. My buddy Bradley messaged me yesterday evening late and said, hey, my little cousin Braden's wanting to go. I said, let's do it. Let's take him, I didn't have nowhere picked out. I hadn't went and roosted no birds or nothing. So we just made a quick decision and we went to Game Lands this morning. And when we got there, waited till it got, sun was kindly starting to come up. And I started blowing the owl hoot. Never heard nothing. We walked a long ways up a road, blowing owl hoot every now and then. Never heard a bird. So we just turned around, and I was actually going to head out and go try another spot that I thought there might be a bird.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I'm going to call one more time. And I got my select call out, and I hit it, and there was 3 birds hammer. I mean, it was crazy. That little boy's face lit up. He didn't know what to do.
That's
but
awesome.
We one of the birds was way off, and the other two were, within killing distance.
Yeah.
So we walked back up the road and then cut up the hill and tried to cut the one bird off, the closest one. Got up there to it, and we didn't realize because we didn't want to overcall, but the bird had actually went to where it hurt us the first time. It had slipped down the hill, so it was not there.
Right.
And we thought, well, the bird just left. So we went to chase the other one, and got on the other ridge beside where we were, and I called, and that one gobbled and the other one gobbled. So I thought, well, what do we do now? We're kind of split, and we were in a pretty good spot. We could catch the one coming from our right and the one coming from our left.
Just keep talking, son. These boys,
Yeah.
you can't pay no attention. Yeah, that's what you get
Daddy's
for drinking
gotta
too
store
many
up.
energy drinks.
But we were in between them both, so I told them boys, I said, let's just sit down right here. Maybe we can catch one of them.
Yeah.
And we wasn't sitting there 10 minutes, and I heard walking, and I looked over at Bradley, and I said, tell that youngin' to spin around the tree.
Yeah.
And he did, and when he spun around, and then them two gobblers somehow, either one of them was silent with one of them, or they had paired up. They were right beside each other.
Yeah.
And they were just out of gun range, so
Dang.
we had to cut up the hill and go around, and we got up there, and I thought we were in a good spot, but the bird ended up catching us. It was within 30 yards. But,
Yeah.
we just couldn't put it together.
Yeah. You said this was on Game Lands?
Yep.
Did you drop that pin?
I did.
You mind sending that to me later?
Better not.
Oh, come on now.
Better not.
This is a team here, son.
That's it.
It's a team effort.
Yeah, you go keep him in your pocket.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha. Go and get out of them birds on Saturday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was fun nonetheless. We had a good time, so
That's awesome.
that's all that matters.
Well, me and Christian went fishing this morning.
Dang right.
Opening
You talk about
day.
tickled.
Trout season in North Carolina on most of the trout waters, except for delayed harvest. You can hunt them or fish them all the time.
Right.
But your standard just stocked waters. Today was opening day, and we were going to meet up here at the store at 6 o'clock, get us a biscuit, go to the river. I pulled into the store, and I thought, boy, this is going to be a show here because, the parking lot was full at 6 o'clock in the morning. It
I drove
was full.
through Newland this morning at right at 15 till 6, and it looked like a street of Charlotte on a Friday night.
Really.
Yeah.
Every gas station, Hardee's, every little restaurant there that served breakfast that was open this morning was packed.
Son, the rednecks
full.
come out of the woodwork today.
I
boy.
ain't seen Newland. You don't see Newland that busy during a weekday
No.
during the day.
All you could see was camo and waders between
That's
turkey
it.
season and fishing season. It was
Yes.
everywhere.
It
This is
lit up
actually the
this morning.
first year of my life that I missed opening day of fishing
Opening
season.
day fishing.
And
Yep.
this is the first time I've fished open day fishing season in probably 5 or probably close to 10 years. I don't ever fish opening day because
Well,
up
usually
here it's elbow to elbow.
Yeah.
yes,
Tough.
Bring your own rock, though.
you have to take
Yeah.
your own rock to stand on.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
it.
we had a plan, or I had a plan. I've got one spot up here. We were just going to fish for about 45 minutes. Don't open until 7 o'clock. Come down here. I had to open the shop, and we had to get set up. And so there's a little hole up here that, call it the barbed wire hole. It's a race to get into that hole every first day. I pulled up there one day a couple years ago, parked the truck, and I'm sitting there eating a biscuit. And here comes a dude. It's dark. It's still dark outside. He runs by the truck, come out of the hotel and runs by the truck, pulling his pants up still. He didn't even have a fishing rod. But he heard me pull up in the truck, and he come running by and run right down to that rock where we was at this morning and stood on it because, everybody, I'm not saying this is the best hole there. It's far from it, but that's where everybody wants to go. For some reason,
Yep.
they've got it in their head that that's
It's just easy. It's easy access. I
It's-
think is what it is.
yeah, unless you got short legs, jumping that creek.
Son, talk about. I was about irritated first thing this morning.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
So we got our biscuit. It took about 20 minutes, and I told him, I was like, just stick it in your pocket, stick your drink in
No,
your
what
pocket.
he done was he said, he gets in the truck. Said, I just want you to know that when we park this truck,
I'm gone.
I'm freaking gone.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
I told him, I
Okay.
said, when
I
they,
had my heart set on my fat hind end, sitting there and eating my biscuit, enjoying myself for
No.
a second. No, sir. We're gonna get out and we're gonna run a
I
marathon
told him,
this morning.
I said, once we get down there, you can eat your biscuit, enjoy the morning, do whatever you got to do. But I said, as soon as we pull up, we got to go. We got to go because of what happened the last time.
And sure enough, we head on down through where he's like, we're going to have to jump this creek here. And he said, actually, this is how it went. We get up to it. He said, this hole ain't normally that deep. Damn 2 foot deep of water, 4 foot wide, and my 2 foot legs ain't going to jump that 4 foot hole.
No, but the good Lord, he pushed us a little pile of sand up right there, and I told him, I stepped across, and I didn't even get my britches wet. Stepped on that sand, kept on going. I said, step right there, you won't get wet, and I took off.
Right.
I get down there to the hole, and I spread all my stuff out and stake my claim right there, and I look back, and I see his flashlight.
About 50 yards
and
behind,
his flashlight.
75 yards.
And his flashlight. I know how Sam feels now. Look back, and you're 50 yards behind. But
I was sitting there, I was trying to debate, because I had his daughter's fishing pole.
That was wrong, Shane.
Yeah.
I had his daughter's fishing pole. I was like, well, I can't break this.
Yeah,
I have a tripod. I was like, when I jump, I knew, and I've got, and in my fashion, I'm not prepared, so I didn't have any good boots on. I had these old cow kickers on, slicker and snot.
Waterproof for a half inch.
You're right.
And after that, you're on your own.
You're right. I was like, I'm gonna make this jump right here. I'm gonna hit this mud. And I'm gonna slip back. Camera's gonna get wet. I'm gonna land right in this thing of water and hit 20 degrees and freeze to death the rest of the day. So I sat there and debated for a solid 5 minutes, like, how in the hell am I going to get across this thing of water? I was like, well, I just started stripping stuff off and throwing it across, like I'm just going to make a big old leap. And that's what I done. By the time I got leaped across, Shane come back there, I was like, where are you at? Like, I got to cross this ocean over here. But we got in there and got set up.
For everybody that
good.
don't know, Shane is approximately 6'2", 6'3", somewheres in that neighborhood. And Christian is more like 4'3", 4'6".
Yeah, this leap of faith, I stepped across it, but it's all good. It's not a big deal.
Yeah,
So-
all I had to do was swim across this ocean. It's all right.
Either way, regardless, we got all our stuff over there.
That's
We
it.
took a camera with us, so we got some filming done this morning.
Right.
We got our spot, and it wasn't 5-10 minutes, and you could see the flashlights coming down the river.
But
And I would turn my flashlight on my phone and just kind of flash it at them. You'd hear them say, "Oh, damn it, they've already got it. They've already cussed."
right. But in opening day fashion, they wait till 5 minutes before time to start fishing.
5 minutes till 7.
And here they come, elbow to elbow down there, getting right in on top of you.
And so the hollow water we're fishing, it comes off of some rocks, and then it makes a bend. And I was in the upper end of the bend. He was in the lower end of the bend. I look, and here comes old boy up from the bottom end, and he stays at first.
At first, he was a good 25 yards, 30 yards.
25,
down.
30 yards. He was fishing
is fine,
the next set of rapids.
Right.
We're all good. And
Till-
then I look back, and Christian sets hook. Here comes the fish. While he's taking it off, old boy starts shuffling
Moving on
a
up
little bit left.
And no more than time we caught one at the same time. Me and
Yep.
Shane did. Both hooked one first, right off the bat. You got what? It was a
Brook.
brook trout. I caught a little rainbow. We started off pretty right. First 5-10 casts, pretty good. Well, no more than I get that rainbow down in the water. Here come old boy up there about where I was standing.
Yeah.
And then cast right up under my nose. I'm like, you sorry.
Yeah.
thing. You talk about irritated.
And the funny part was, it wasn't 4 or 5 more casts. Christian sets another
I
hook,
hooked
and old
another.
boy's standing there.
He's mad. He's getting
mad.
irritated
Yeah,
now.
he's getting irritated. So
We started
while
hooking
Christian's taking his off, old boy comes around behind me and gets up
Above him.
right above me, about 10 yards. And I look down, and he's throwing corn and just drifting it. And I look out, and the set of rapids I'm fishing, I see his line drifting across there. That's all right. I send that spinner right across his line, so then he goes to reeling. But it happens every year.
Right.
There's 1,000 miles of river here, and have a little bit of common courtesy.
Yep.
I mean, it's just one of those things you deal with on the first day of fishing season, because somebody's going to get it in their head that's where all the fish are.
Yes.
And if
Yep.
there's somebody standing there, son, they're going to be in there. I mean, one way or another. And the man never said a word to us. I talked to him a little bit. I was like, "Hey, how you doing? Good morning. You having a good day today?" But son, you could tell just the way he was looking at us.
It irritated me.
Yeah.
It pissed me off just so bad. I was like, all right.
It irritated him more too.
Yeah.
He looked like he wanted us to throw us in the river. is what
I
it looked like.
could have threw him in there. I was hoping he started casting basically over top of me. I was hoping, I was praying that if I cook his line, I'm gonna jerk real hard, and I hope his ice falls in there. But no, I started getting irritated. I'd hook one. I was like, there we go. That's the one. I'd look at him, holler at him. He'd look, see him blow, puff. I was like, that's what you get.
Yeah.
I hooked in a good one.
He hooked in a dang good one.
About
He
16,
caught a
18
good
inch
fish.
rainbow. When he hooked it, at that point, he'd got irritated me catching them little ones,
Yeah.
just old stock
Oh,
trout.
yeah.
He went on down about 50, 60 yards, and I hooked him that big, and I really let him know how I felt then.
Yeah, he hurt.
Like, oh, yeah, there's one, yeah. Hard at Shane, get over here and help me with this, and I can't get it in.
And it wasn't 30 seconds. Here he come right back up riff.
And then I hooked another not long after that, and it just kept ticking him off. He just kept getting madder and madder.
There was a hole of water open above me,
Right.
and he was too busy casting across me, trying to drift down through it. He never fished it. So I stood around, and I quit getting any bites or anything. He went on upriver. I moved up and caught 2 out of the hole of water where he could have been fishing the entire time.
Yep.
God.
But
He's too worried about catching fish that y'all was going to catch.
yeah, he was too worried about that one hole of water, son. That was the spot. That was the secret spot.
But that, like I say, that's opening day fashion.
Opening day
To my
fishing.
knowledge, I don't know how it is other places. From what I hear from other people, there's really not an opening day for trout fishing in a lot of places, is there?
The Cherokee does a big one.
Cherokee does
Down at Cherokee, and they do a big tournament.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah,
I saw a post the other day. A
Guy,
guy caught a rainbow that was like 28 inches. It was
Gosh,
huge.
yeah.
I mean, it was huge.
but yeah,
I think I seen that.
Yeah, it was a monster. It was a big old
Well,
boat.
in Georgia, when we was down there, we thought all them people on that game land we figured them fields would look like Civil War lined up, but all of them was there for fishing.
Yeah.
Remember?
yeah. We went down there and everybody's just fishing.
Yeah, they
They
just
said you
fishing.
can't beat the fishing here. There's more people. There's what 200-300 people there just fishing alone on that one set of game lands we
Yeah.
saw.
Fishing's a big thing now, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, and by gosh, there's a lot of people there fishing.
they are. Yes.
But man, you can't beat it. I loved it. I had a whale of a time this morning. So we're opening the morning up right.
Yeah.
Caught 5. He caught 4. I beat him. I felt good.
Oh, yeah.
I was feeling good this morning. That's why you give me
You
that
had to throw
medallion.
that in there, didn't
Yeah.
You dang right I had to throw it
Well-
in there. It ain't many times I get to outfish many people.
I started it out. I give him a pink rod. He's already.
Bright pink.
But I did give him the best spinner that I had in the bag.
He did.
I told him before, I said,
She
right
did.
here's the money spinner. I said, this was my older brother's favorite spinner. I hung one in his coffin when we buried him. I said, this one's going to catch fish. And, son, it wore him
It
out.
wore 'em out.
It absolutely
And then-
killed him.
And it about killed me. I got up there
And we
and
got this on camera, too.
We did.
That-
It's all on camera.
It went.
I got it, and I was in there throwing pretty good in that little bit of current we got. But they call it barbed wire hole for a reason.
Yeah.
There's a thing of barbed wire over there.
Yep, there's a piece of barbed
I
wire
got it
where it
hooked on
turns.
it, one
Oh,
cast,
okay.
and I was like, well, I've lost this spinner. I worked with it. I worked up and down the river for 5 minutes or so. I was like, it's getting ready time for us to go because we're
Yeah.
going to have to come over here and set up. I was like, I'm just going to have to
Break it.
pull it and break it. I pulled out line. Pow! Here it come, and I seen it in slow motion come back. I hollered. I was like, oh, God. I don't even know what I said. but
Yeah,
it
he was
scared the
standing
shit
right
out of me,
beside
to be
the
honest
camera,
with
and son, here come him treble hooks, and he went right between him and the camera.
you. I mean.
And he looks at me and he goes, "Yeah, I didn't lose a spinner."
I didn't lose it. It's like, I can throw it in again. Oh, man. It was an eventful 45 minutes of fishing, I'm telling you what.
Yeah, we wasn't there but 45 minutes. But God, we had a ball. We had a blast.
That's right.
And you could stand there and you could look up a river and Sunday's line up. And this is another thing that always cracks me up. You've always got the waiter guys.
Yeah.
You've always got the waiter guys. And there was a hole up above us where there's bridge pylons. Are you a waiter guy, Dawson?
I'm a waiter guy.
You're, all right. Well, tell me.
Wait, what do you mean by waiter guy?
All right.
Actually,
This-
let's clarify.
Let's explain our scenario this morning.
Yeah, we got an opening day waiter guy. There were 2
clarify
of them this morning. All right, there's a bridge up above us. Mm-hmm. It's got a pretty hole of water. Got a pylon right there. These guys get 10 yards above the pylons, above them, not below them, upriver, and wade across out into the middle of the main current where all the fish are laying. Because I guess they're fishing back toward the bank. Stand upriver and fish down where they're stomping all that mud and stuff going into. They didn't catch a dad burn thing.
Yeah, I'm not that kind
Yeah,
of
I'm
waiter.
You're
about
not
to say,
that waiter guy.
No, I'm not that
I mean, I'm
waiter guy.
not professional in it by no means, but I would think the idea would be is work your way up.
Yeah.
Like
Well, yeah,
whenever
you
we lived
always-
in Minneapolis, we'd fish Toe River. That's what me and my cousin would do. We'd go out. We'd start down by Pleasant Hill Baptist Church. We'd work way up to Minneapolis Baptist Church. Work our way up always. There was only once or twice we'd wade the bank in the creek, all the way up there. But I wouldn't think you'd want to go down. That's what them boys this morning was doing.
Yeah, they were
They'd
standing
start
upriver
there,
and
working
fishing
their way
down.
closer and
Yeah.
closer.
But
Now, I will say,
All
when
day.
I spinner fished a lot when I was younger, I did fish down the river.
Did
You know.
A lot of spinning.
Throw it
but
down.
were you in the main channel of the
A lot of
river
fly
doing it?
No, I was not in the
That
main
was what
channel
get
of
me.
the
They
Right.
were standing.
Yeah.
Right.
I fish that spot all the time just when
Yeah.
I'm goofing off, and they were standing right where you catch most of your fish. I'm sitting there, guys. I mean, I know they don't know, but
Yeah.
it's still, you could look at it. I guess they come in before daylight too. I mean,
Yeah, these are early. They's committed.
they were there early. Yeah, they were in there, and to be standing in the middle of the river and at 20 degrees, they were
I give 'em
definitely
props
committed.
for that.
Yeah.
They have more balls than I am. You wouldn't catch my eyes.
Heck no.
15-degree water.
Right.
Well, you'd get 5-6 cast in, and then you'd have to hold the eyes on your fishing rod because they were froze.
Yep.
And the line quit going through them. I mean, it was one of those days. It's
Yep.
just the way it goes up here. But
That's it. But, man, like I say, it's a good morning for everybody all the way around.
it was
Just,
pretty.
I mean,
It was calm. I mean, you couldn't ask for a
Perfect.
prettier morning.
It's perfect. This
You
morning.
just
It
didn't
really
let
was.
me tell my turkey.
Yeah, you went.
Yeah, we
turkey
skipped
hunting,
you
too.
all together. Just wasn't good enough.
I'm
Let's
not
hear it,
mad
Trav.
now.
We're
We didn't
saving.
give you a headset.
We're
We
saving-
ain't, I'm hogging the mic.
I'm not mad now.
We're
though.
just, just
Well,
forget it.
no, what we're doing, we're saving the best life for the end.
There we
so
go.
let's hear
That's
this.
it. We're saving the best life for you. There we go. See,
No.
there's a reasoning behind it.
To be honest with you, we didn't have much. It wasn't much. We got up about. Well, I got up about 15 after 4, 15 till 4, somewhere around there. And I thought I had everything ready until you realize that you got to go, you got to leave, and then you're not ready. But
Yeah.
then anyhow, we got out there, and hunting game lands is kind of like fishing.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
to try to get your spot that you want.
Yeah.
And most people are pretty courteous about it. If they pull up and they see your truck there, they don't get out and go to blowing out hoots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They just go on and try to find them a spot. So we wanted to get out there way before daylight. And get out there, and Trey, which is my son, we're sitting in the truck way before daylight. It's probably 5:30 or something. And I'm trying to get him to do an introduction for the video, say what he's doing, what's going on, trying to keep him awake. I cut the camera off. 5 seconds later, he's sound asleep. I mean, he's snoring. So then I get on my phone, and I'm watching videos and all this kind of nonsense. And look around at 6:30. I said, well, it's going to be daylight in a second.
Yeah.
So I get out and get stretching, get moving around. And just as the sun's breaking up, I blow a hoot. I mean, just as soon as I blow it. So I said, it's golden. I mean, he's hot. He ain't got no hens.
Yeah.
He's ready to go. So we go up there. We get within about 85 yards of the tree or something and get set down. Couldn't quite see him, but I could almost see him in the tree. And Kyle, I'd say probably 15, 20 minutes after daylight. Sun's come up. He's starting to get warm. He's starting to move around in the tree. And Kyle, and he gobbles again. Gobble, 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 gobble. Flies down. I hit the Kyle. He gobbles one time. The second that he gobbles, when his feet hit the ground, I hear 3 or 4 fly down with him.
Oh boy.
And he never says another word, and we sit there and watch him go out of sight.
Yeah.
And I told him, Trey, I mean, what can we do? They are a lot prettier than we are.
Yep.
That's it. Hand up.
Well, it's hard to pretend to be a hen and pull him off of 3 hens that he's already got in his
Right.
pocket. I mean, he knows they're there.
Yeah.
He may think that you're a hen, but he knows that they're hens. So it's hard to.
Yep.
Yeah, that's his girlfriends. He's been with them before.
Yeah, about the only
it.
chance you have right there is to make one of them girls mad.
Yeah.
Get her to come up there and try to whoop you and hope he follows.
Yep.
Which we did have that happen once this morning to one of our hunters.
Yeah.
Down off the mountain, there was some boys had one come in from behind him, and he had a bearded hen with him. She didn't have a long beard, but she did have a beard. I don't know if you talked to these guys or not.
Nuh-uh.
They said she come in and said she come around within 5 yards and flogged the crap out of his decoys. Son, they said she laid a whooping on his decoys.
Oh, Lord.
Said she flogged him to death. I asked him if they got it on video because it's a buddy of mine from down off the mountain. He said no, they didn't video it because the gobbler was standing right beside the blind watching it all go down. But they didn't have a window open. He couldn't get a shot on him. But he said it was awesome. He said they called that hen in, and the gobbler followed. But then she whooped the decoys and left them laying on their side, and then they both left. So
That's about right.
Well,
she come in and smacked them around a little bit and left.
Well, I talked to another hunter out there. He said that there was a turkey gobbling this morning, and there was a hen flew down with him, and he said he called the hen. The hen come in.
Yep.
He said he thought, oh, this is going to happen. This is it right here. The hen's come.
Yep.
The gobbler stayed back. Did not come. Said the hen come up to the decoy. Yop, 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 yop. And the gobbler did not Did not. And the hen left and went back to the gobbler, then they left. But
Dang.
the gobbler never came in.
Most of the time, if you can get that hen to come in, that gobbler's going to follow.
Well, it's like a big buck, you know. It's chasing a doe. Whatever she does, he's going to do.
He's going to do it. Yeah,
absolutely. Yep. But it just didn't happen this morning for him.
Well, the worst part about our hunt today is after we left that spot, Travis was taking Tiana, which would have been her first turkey.
Yeah.
Ever. First time she's ever went hunting.
Travis
period.
Johnson. Let's make that clear.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Little Trav.
Little Trav.
Yeah, a.k.a. Little Trav.
There you go.
Which he's a killer turkey hunter. Don't get me wrong. He's a killer turkey hunter. But we get hooked back up with him. We go back out there, and here stands 3 longbeards. Not baby longbeards. Actual longbeards.
Yeah.
In a field on private property with about 15 hens. Just sitting out there just strutting as pretty as they can strut. At about 60 yards.
Yeah.
Beating the ground dry, spitting and drumming. And all we can do is just sit there and kind of watch them, you know.
Sit there and enjoy the show.
Yeah.
I mean, what can you do?
Did you know whose property it was?
Yep.
That a big negative on that?
No,
one?
she's an animal activist.
Well, that's what you could have. Onyx Hunt could have played into your favor right there.
Yeah.
You found out whose land was around it, and got permission from somebody.
Well,
maybe.
We actually tried it because it's there's game lands on the back side of it.
Oh, got you.
So we actually went to the game lands, but they had no desire to come out of the
Right, I mean, without any
field.
hens, yeah. I mean,
There was probably at least 15 hens. Now, the one was definitely a boss bird. I'm
Yeah.
going to say he was 4.5 years old. When he was strutting, nobody else was saying a peep. Everybody else's wings was tucked. They were tight. They weren't looking around. Now, when he was walking away from them, they kind of fuzz up. But the second he wheeled back around, they said, Did you see me? Did you see me? Did you see me?
He's whooped them a time or two.
that's it.
That's like Christian when that feller threw across him. When he'd turn his head, he'd fuzz up and then he'd turn back around.
I'll tell you one thing. It reminds me of the other day. Actually, this is kind of funny. This is off topic as it can get, but it's not. Speaking of get whooped, I do real estate photography down in Charlotte. Well, I had a job. It was over towards Troutman the other day. Oh, God, it'd been raining and stuff, and it was a job we had lined up. The people was like, yeah, we're going to do it. No, we're not going to do it. It's kind of on and off. Well, finally I said, yeah, we're going to do it. You go ahead. It's a vacant house, but they're moving out of it. Keys under the mat. See if you can go knock it out. Well, I do just that. I get there, and there's 2 cars in the driveway, but they're parked out of the way, like they was put there out of the way for the pictures. It's like, okay, it's coming pretty good downpour, so I waited in the car for about 20 minutes. I mean, it's coming to flood at this point. Mm-hmm. Wait a minute. I go and get the key, and I look inside, and there's stuff still there. And this happens a lot with these houses, you know. So I'm trying to decide, maybe there shouldn't be nobody here. They said it's vacant. We should be good to go. Get the key, open the door, and always try to announce myself, you know, like, hey, photographer's here. Is anybody home? All the lights are off. Everything's dead. There's just a lot of stuff in there. A lot more than what there should have been. At least what was relayed to me was what should have been. So anytime I go into a situation like that, I get a little bit nervous, you know, like maybe there is somebody here. I don't want to. You don't want to. What would you do if somebody come in your house? So that's where I'm coming from. It's like you got to be careful.
Right.
So I get in there and I'm kind of wheeling around, nosing around, like, hey, is anybody here? Anybody here? Anybody here? Do it for 10 minutes or so. You want to be sure.
Yeah.
Before you start going into work. Well, I do that and I take some pictures of the stuff in there because there's a ton of stuff. Like I say, send it to my boss. I call him. And I said, hey, we're just discussing it. It's like, do you want to wait, see what we want to do, reschedule and whatnot? Well, by the time I'm on the phone with him, I look out there. They got a big glass door. Here comes about a 7-foot-tall, 300-pound guy with a 9mm in his hand. He comes busting in that doorway. What are you doing in my house? I'm on the phone. I ain't never been I'm not really scared of people. But in that moment, I was scared to death. He come in that door, and he's like, what are you doing in my house? I'm like, oh, I'm just a photographer. I'm just here to take pictures, man. He's like, they told me to come out here. It's vacant. He's like, is that all you're doing? And he was as calm as friendly as could be, but it scared me to death. I was shaking. I mean, tore all to pieces, man. I was scared to death.
I would like to have that on video.
Oh, yeah.
I've never been more afraid or more scared of thinking I was going to be shot. I knew I shot. So, I mean, go back to that thought. What would you do if you pulled up in your driveway and there's somebody in the doorway of your house talking on the phone?
Yeah.
What would you do?
You are shot.
That's what I'm saying. He said he's lucky he wasn't shot. I was like, yeah, I'm lucky. They told me it was vacant, you know. He's like, yeah. He said, dude, you're fine. He said, we just come back from a lawyer's office dealing with some family stuff. He said, so I didn't know who you was. I'm like, no, I understand. He said, it happens. You know?
I don't blame you. I would have shot me too.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I'd have shot me too, but now my nerves are shot. I'm scared to death. There's only one other time I've been that scared of being shot. There's another situation kind of like that. I use my truck everywhere I go, and it's full of hunting stickers and stuff. I've got a rifle, or, a gun rack in the window. Well, I just use it to throw my tripod in. I was doing a house down there in the middle of Charlotte. It's whatever. I done talked to the homeowner. It's fine. Well, one of the neighbors being as nosy as they are down there, here comes somebody jogging down the road. They kind of stop. I noticed in the corner of my eye, they stop and look at my truck and kind of double take at it. Whatever. I don't pay no mind to it. It's whatever. I come back out, and the homeowner had left. They went to do their own thing. The neighbor had called the cops and thought I was breaking in their house and said that I had a gun in my truck because they seen my tripod in my back window. I come out, 2 or 3 cops pull up, and this is about the time all these shootings are going on. They pull out of their cars, they draw their guns on me, get on the ground. I was like, holy shit, I am shot. I know I'm shot this time. I dropped what I got. I'm scared to death. 2 or 3 cop cars pull up and everyone draw their guns. What you gonna do?
You do what they say.
That's it.
Exactly what you do.
That's it. It's one of those deals. I get that nervous, I freeze.
Yeah.
They tell you to go on the ground, you don't get on the ground.
You get on the ground.
I'm sorry, I'm scared to death. It ain't registering what you're saying to me.
Yeah, when they tell you hit the ground, you hit the ground. If they say do the hokey pokey, you do the hokey pokey. You do what they say.
That's it. They said,
don't
you
matter
got
what
a gun?
they say.
Said, no, sir. No, sir. He's like, you got a gun in your truck? He's like, no, sir, that's a tripod. And I'd sit there, and then you have to explain yourself for 20 and 30 minutes. And I look up, and there that feller is in his woman's yoga pants, tight shirt, over, arms crossed, thumping his leg. That'll teach you to come through here and break in somebody's house. That's what you're thinking,
Yeah.
It's just aggravating. That's the only other time I thought I was shot.
Right.
But, there's some situations.
Something kind of like that happened with Mike one time. The guy we worked for, he sent a guy to go do a punch list on the job on, I think it was Beach Mountain. And he called Mike. He said, what was I supposed to do now? And he said, ain't you got the list? He said, yeah, but he said, I'm in the house now. He said, but it don't look like, he said, I can't find nothing that's on this paper. He said, where are you at? He wasn't even in the right house. These people had done it.
Oh, God.
He said, oh, my gosh. He said, well, I ain't seen nobody yet.
Oh, God.
So he ended up, he was at the wrong house. He was getting ready to work inside. And he's already inside. I don't know how he got inside.
All right, boys. Well, we have completely derailed in this segment. We started out talking about hunting and fishing. Now we're going into breaking into people's houses.
Yes.
So I think that's going to be enough to carry us.
Running from the police.
Yeah, now that we've covered all that, that's going to carry us into our second break. But we will be back shortly with the Back 40 Skull Sessions podcast.
This segment of the Back 40 Skull Sessions podcast is brought to you by Mountaineer Outfitters, the official outfitters of Appalachian Holler Hunters. Visit them online on Facebook or Instagram, or visit them in person at 65 Haynes Road in Newland, North Carolina. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, 8 to 12 on Saturdays. Stop by and see them today for all your hunting and shooting sport needs. Man, I was going down the road. Did you see all them turkeys down there at Farmer Johnson's place?
No, man, I didn't see them.
Man, there was at least 20 or 30 of them out there strutting around this morning.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. We need to get on them.
Well, that's right, we do. But the thing is, he won't let nobody hunt that place there.
Man, that ain't no problem. We can get on the Onyx Hunt app. We can find who owns the properties around them, get permission to go hunt them, and get after them.
Really? If I'd have known that, I'd have been on birds all over the county last year.
Yeah, man, you can mark waypoints, you can see topo maps, and you can see neighboring parcels, so you can hunt all around him. So if you got that stubborn landowner that won't let you on it, find out who owns the property beside him and go hunt.
Well, if that's the case, I'm downloading that thing right now.
Download it, man, and get started.
Honestly, I didn't really hunt that much last year, deer season wise. I was blessed with that deer that I killed, but
it was a monster.
It was a
big old deer.
Big deer.
Very, very good deer. I was very blessed with it. I just saved a spot towards the ball that I never usually hunt until rifle season rolls around. And I went up there, sat down, and it wasn't 5 minutes, and I hear a deer running. And I look, and it's a doe, and she just kind of jumps down in a road that's like 30 yards in front of me. And she starts feeding out that road. And I kept waiting for a buck behind her, but nothing ever showed. And she fed for probably 10 minutes, and nothing ended up happening. So I just set my gun back down. And she got about 30 yards to my right, going out of sight, and she just cut her head all at once and looking back towards me, and I hear a deer running. So I just throw my gun up, and all I seen was horns. I mean, it was a giant, and it was the biggest deer I've ever killed. And I just pulled up, and I got excited, so I just hollered at it, hey!
Yeah.
And it stopped. It was close. And I put a good shot on it and got it down. So
Little tip on that.
Humble brag.
Yeah. I just saved the awesome spot and went in there and slaughtered a monster. But yeah.
Humble brag.
Yeah.
well, I mean, you can't blow them out.
It's tough being that good, ain't it?
Yeah.
Somebody's got to do it.
That's right.
Next time, throw the meow at it. I'm telling you, boys. We started
Meow.
the meow. You can stop a bird from flying if you meow at it. They ain't nothing like a damn cat. I'm telling you. We started doing that.
Really?
We started doing that a couple years
think
ago
it's
as a
funny,
joke.
Huh?
You think it's funny?
All right, meow. Tighten up. Anyway, we started doing that a couple years ago. I told one of my buddies, I was like, nothing likes a cat. If you see a bobcat in the woods, nothing will go near it or anything. I said, if you see a buck running through, just go meow, and he'll stop in his tracks. And I was hunting about 200 yards up from him, and sure enough, I hear meow, boom. And son, from then on, I'm telling you, he lives and dies by the meow. If you see a deer running, and it works. We were just saying it as a joke, but it works. If you meow at a deer instead of meh, meh, or something like that, they don't know what to do. They just stop right in their tracks.
That's one I never would have thought about.
It come about as a joke, just to see if he would do it. And I swear,
There you
I
go.
swear it
If
works.
It works.
Well, I ain't gonna lie, I like the meow because of Super Troopers.
Yeah.
That's where I was getting at.
That's,
Oh yeah,
I ain't watched that forever yet.
but I'm telling you, I told somebody the other day. I said you can stop a bird from flying with a meow. There ain't nothing like a cat. It works on everything.
I don't like a cat either.
Yeah, but
He said I don't
Oh,
like
man.
it.
No.
Yeah, Lord.
what about you, Justin?
Me, okay, let's see. Last year, Turkey Season Youth Day.
Mm-hmm.
It was part of I think it wasn't the opening Youth Day.
It was pretty fun.
It was the Sunday after, I'm pretty sure, wasn't it?
It might have been. It was either that or the Monday after,
Right.
it was that Youth Week.
Yeah, it was that week.
Yes, so me and Lakin went opening day and nothing. We heard some birds. We heard birds every day. We just couldn't connect. But I think it was that Monday we went to one place that morning. We heard bird, we couldn't. I think we actually heard 3 different directions. I said, we're going after these 2 because they're that direction, so we're going to go after one of those. And we went after one of those, and the bird was gobbling and everything. And but just could not get him. I think they got the hens, before we got to us. So we went on home and went and ate us some breakfast and stuff. And I mean brunch, I guess is what you'd call it. It's probably 10:30 or somewhere in that neighborhood. And we eat at home, and I said, my boys had hunted up there that morning, and said, there's no bird up there. I said, well, me and Lakin's going to go try it. And my other boy, Landon, said, I'm going with you. So he went with us, and we got up there, and went to Film Dial that morning over there to that other place. And got up there and called. I have some spots where I always stop and try to locate a turkey. From those spots. Nothing. So we went on up to the top and got off, and I said, y'all sit right here. And I said, I'm going to walk right up here. And I walked right out of the tree patch into the hardwoods there, right in the edge. And I was sitting there getting ready, just letting it calm down before I located. And I was getting ready to call, and suddenly there was turkeys gobble. I thought, my gosh, I mean, yeah. And I come back over there, and my boy Landon, he said, did you scare them? And I said, no, I didn't scare them. I hadn't done anything. I said, I hadn't seen. He said, it sounded like it's right on you. I said, yeah, they're close. So we got everything, got the camera set up and everything. I got her up there and made sure I had a Sheldon gun, you know, and everything before we even started calling. And started walking up through there and looked and seen 2 turkeys and they flew. I thought, oh, I see it. This is over.
Yeah.
No, it's done.
Yeah.
Then I got thinking, that was the hens. I said, the gobblers, I said, oh, this is going to work right here. You
Yeah.
know. Got set up, called, turkeys gobbled. I thought, man, there's 3 of them. You know, I mean, I know there's 3 turkeys gobbled. I said, this is going to happen. Well, finally we looked and seen the turkeys coming. Looked down, the camera died. I thought, oh. Well, we'd filmed that morning, only had 1 battery. The camera had died.
Yeah.
I thought, I don't care if she's never killed one, it's coming.
Right.
Well, what I thought was 3 ended up being 5. 3 strutters, son, coming down through there. I thought, oh, man. Well, and they come on down through there, and I said, can you see them? I could see their fans, and then when they come down there, they popped their head up. I said, can you see them? They wasn't probably 30 yards max.
Yeah.
And I keep hitting this mic.
It's all right. Somebody's got to do it, and at least it's not Christian today.
Don't worry, it'll happen.
I get in a big tail, but anyway. But birds come down there. I said, can you see them? She said, no, I can't see them. I said, well, just take your time. I said, they're going to show. I said, just make sure you can see them. They come on down through there, and son, they was looking down through there. And I said, can you see them now? Yeah, I can see that one. I said, just pick you one. I mean, because they was there.
Yeah.
She never killed one,
Yeah.
And I know that them 3
We're
that
definitely
had a full fan. I thought, they're adult birds. And she said, yeah, I can see that one. I said, well, just make sure you put the bead on his head and pull the trigger when you're ready. And that's what she done, and she shot, and she ended up killing a big bird. Those birds went every which way. But she ended up getting the bird, and we got up there, and it was flopping, and got on it, put my foot on his head. And it had a 9 3/4-inch beard, 3/4 spurs, with
Good bird.
textbook 2-year-old.
Yeah, yeah.
Gosh, yeah.
Awesome first bird, though.
Yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely, absolutely. She was tickled to death. I was tickled to death. I was almost crying. But
Gosh,
it ended up being a successful hunt.
Oh, yeah.
Not being the bagging a turkey, but I mean it
All the way around.
Yeah, that was the
Right.
bonus. Of
All the way around.
Yeah, and it's sitting in my living room right now on the wall.
There you go.
But it's a bird we cherish,
Gosh, yeah. Forever.
It's something me and her related to, and it makes you closer.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
and it's amazing. Like you said, you almost cried. It's amazing the emotions you feel.
Absolutely.
When a kid, I've never got emotional when I've killed a deer. Son, when Parker shot that button buck this year, I was fighting it back. I was kind of happy I forgot to turn the camera on because, son, I'm telling you, I was fighting it back. I just snatched her up out of the chair. I'm like, you did it, you did it, you did it. She's like, easy. I got the gun in my hands.
Oh,
That's it.
But it's something you'll always remember.
Yeah.
Gosh, yeah.
well, and so
Both
will
of
they.
us.
Exactly.
I mean, that's you can't take that away from them.
No.
Right. No.
That's memories they always have.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, that's not. Well, for you boys, that ain't it. Dawson had a heck of a fishing season.
I did.
Oh, absolutely.
I was very blessed this year.
Meant
with
to hit
fishing.
that.
This previous year, I ended up fishing very heavily. I only missed like 3 or 4 days out of 3 months. I mean, I went every day. Jay knows. Every day at work, he would ask me, "You going fishing this evening?" I said, "You know it."
Yep.
But by God, it paid off.
It did. I caught, I think, 5 or 6 very, very good fish. I mean, just finding them, going back repetitively fishing for them. And
When you're saying very good fish, what size fish you talking about?
18 plus.
18 plus?
Yep.
Heck yeah.
In my book.
Yeah.
For
Gosh, for
browns
around here,
and
heck
stuff.
yeah.
Yep.
Heck
Speckled
yeah.
trout.
Yeah, I wish.
Well, tell us about that first one you caught. That was a
giant.
Monster.
That's the biggest.
What was he?
He was, I think he was 21 3/4 inches long, and I didn't actually get a weight on him, but I would guess 5-6 pounds. I mean,
brown trout.
He was
he's
a
a
giant.
monster.
He
That's
was a
awesome.
dandy. He's
a pretty one.
Yep.
Gosh, yeah.
It was.
That had to have been a fight. There has to be some story behind that one.
It was ridiculous. Okay, so my buddy Bradley, I was fishing with him that day, and there's a trail that goes across the river up to a house where we were fishing that day, and it's obviously kind of shallow. So Bradley was wading out there, and he was casting. He never did hook a fish, so he just moved on up, and I just followed in behind him, and I'm telling you, this water's not shin deep where I hooked the fish at. And I casted, and when I set where it was just like solid, I thought I was snagged on something. So,
Yeah.
I mean, like right when I set, I just kind of popped a little bit, and then it come alive. I mean, it was on. And I said, big fish, big fish, big fish. And Bradley just comes running back down the side of the river. And this fish is going through some rough water, and I'm fighting it, and there's a log that was across the river, and I tried to guide the fish to where it would go around the log, and I could just keep fighting it on down the river, but it went directly under the log, and I tried to, get my line out from around the log myself, but I just couldn't. And I told Bradley, I said, you're just going to have to get down there and see if you can pick that log up a little bit so I can get my line out. And right when he picked the log up, I guess that fish caught a second wind, and it left there. I mean, I was running. I jerked my pack off. I was running down the side of the river. I finally got it into some calmer water, and Bradley dove in the river down below me, and I said, just whenever I tell you, just scoop it. And I pulled it up, and he scooped it, and we both went to screaming, hooping. I mean,
That's awesome.
That's it.
And this
so
was all on
excited.
fly tackle, correct?
Oh,
Yep.
yes. Let me mention here now, if he gives this fish any slack through the obstacles that it's going through,
Yeah.
he's off
He's
there.
done.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you done a great job.
Gosh, yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
mean, you can't. My
It
God, I
was-
can imagine.
It was intense for sure. And I mean, I get tore up talking about it. I mean, that was just
I
something
mean, gosh,
that,
yeah. I mean, how often you hear about that
Yeah.
bigger fish being caught up here? It's very rare.
Yeah.
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 yeah. But it was very exciting.
But was he
And-
hooked pretty good?
Oh yeah, he would have probably had to break me off. Honestly, I didn't realize I had that good of a set. Of course, either way, you don't want to overdo
Well, I mean,
anything.
Well, and I'd say that pop where you thought you was hung
hook
on.
jaw, like his cap and stuff. Yeah, he had a good hook jaw on him. Yep.
Gosh,
When
yeah.
I'd say that pop where you thought you were hung, that probably helped a lot too.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
probably you basically double set him is what you
yeah,
done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very thankful for that fish. I mean, that's one it'll be very hard for me to beat that fish, just fishing like I do.
Yeah, fishing rivers up here, it's hard to
That's it.
get a
Yep.
fish bigger than that.
Do you plan on going out Montana or something where some of these boys going anytime soon? Because I'm telling you, you'd probably wear them out there if you used to get a chance.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to. That's my dream place to go. I'd love to go out there for a week, 2 weeks, But I mean,
for a month.
that's
That's
some
it.
money,
That's true.
Yeah.
Plus, I ain't big on planes, so and I ain't really a fan of the long car rides. But I mean, for that, I'd probably bite the bullet. And
It's
do
worth
Right.
it. It's worth it. I'm
It'd
telling
have
you.
to be.
Yeah.
It is 100% worth it. I've been out there fishing, and it's just a whole nother level. I mean, it really is. It's a whole nother level. You can catch
Yeah.
some giant fish out there. I got a funny story about going out there. I was dating a girl. I was younger. I was in high school, and her grandmother has a house out there. Half of every county seems like has a house out there.
Yes.
That's that Christmas tree money. They go
That's
out to
it.
Montana and buy them a
Yep,
house, and
that's it.
they all go out there, go fishing all summer and stuff. So I went out. She was out there with her grandmother, and I went out there to see her. And I'm on a plane, and going into Bozeman, it was not a big plane. And so we get like way up above the airport, and the captain comes on the speaker. He's like, "All right, folks, it's going to be a little bumpy ride. They're experiencing some rough weather. Look out the window, and it's just lightning bolts, lightning bolts, lightning bolts." I'm like, "Oh God, here we go." And so we come in, and I mean, it's just up, down, up, down, up, down till we hit the ground. But flying out there, I didn't have a packable fly rod at the time, and I run to Bass Pro Shop, and all I could find was a spinning rod that
Yeah.
broke down. Well, I'm gonna take what I can take out there.
Yep.
And so I throw it in a backpack and a reel and a box of spinners and go out there. I didn't realize that if you go to Montana with a spinning rod, you are a second-rate citizen at that point.
Yep.
I mean, they are looking down their nose at you, and I'm like, guys, I'm just bringing what I could get out here. I didn't even have a whole lot of plan of fishing, but I got to go fishing with a couple of guys one morning, and I'm talking. They were your classic Orvis guys. I mean, they were Orvis head to toe. They looked like they jumped out of the magazine and jumped in the car to go fishing that morning. And so here I come out, no waders on, pair of setters, spinning rod, and a box of spinners. And they looked at me. They're like, "You go that way. We're going to go this way."
Yeah.
Whatever. So we're fishing down below a dam, and they're generating out of the bottom of that dam. Son, the water's just cooking down there. But there's monster rocks on both sides of the river, and it's creating eddies on both sides of the river where them rocks are. And I look down, and these boys out there fly fishing, casting, they couldn't get in the river. It couldn't get in the water with their waders because it's moving so fast. But they're casting in the middle of that river water, that muddy water, and drifting down. They're not catching anything. I start sending them up and down the sides of the bank, and I mean, I'm wearing them out with them spinners. I'm absolutely killing them. And it seemed like every other fish was 18 to 20 inches. I mean, just brook trouts, brown trout, everything was big. And so I finally get down there to the boy I was with. It was him and his dad. And I'm like, "Buddy, have you caught anything?" He said, "Man, I ain't had the first bite." And I said, "Well, you're casting in the wrong place." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "You need to be casting right below this rock you're on." He said, "There ain't no fish." I said, "Watch this, son." I cast under his feet because he's up on a rock. It's about 4 foot tall. Pull an 18-inch brown out from under his feet. First cast.
Yeah.
And before it was over, I had him tying a rooster tail on a fly rod and winding that baby in. His dad come back up there, and I'm pretty sure he got kicked out of the wheel. His dad seen that rooster tail on that fly rod. I'm pretty sure he got kicked out of the wheel.
I've got my grandfather's fly rod that he had, and it's actually got a Panther Martin tied on it. That's the last thing he put on it. So apparently that must have been a kind of popular thing.
Well, I go by the whole idea. I'm going to throw what the fish are biting.
All right. I mean, I agree.
I mean, if they're biting a fly, you throw a fly. If they're biting a spinner, you throw a spinner.
Yep.
I'm not too proud.
Yep.
That's it. But
anyway,
I'm trying to think. Did you do any more hunting the rest of last year aside from turkey hunting, Justin?
Yes, I went opening day of deer season this year. Gun season, opening day gun season.
Yeah.
My boys had them set up, where they was hunting. And I was hunting above a old food plot. It's just a little food plot. I mean, it's maybe less than a quarter of an acre probably, I mean, it's just a little. And kind of like a honey hole food plot, I guess.
Right.
So, but anyway, I was sitting up above it, and I didn't go down to where I've got a box blind down there, but I didn't go in it, so I stayed up above it, I've always thought, well, I think them deer's moving above it, so I'm gonna sit up there so I can see off down in there. And it was kind of rainy, that day, and I was sitting there, and it hadn't been daylight too long. I seen actually when I seen it, I could see its face, like I could almost see its eyeball. First is what stood out.
Yeah,
right.
And I looked, and I said, "That's a deer." And I got to looking, and it come on down, and it was a spike. And I thought, well, so I just didn't even get my gun up, so and I was sitting there, and I was texting my boys and seeing if they'd seen anything. And my uncle, I was talking to him, messaging him, and then I think I heard you shoot that morning.
Yep, I shot that morning.
I heard him shoot and Tank had that's what it was. He had texted me, and he said, "Did you shoot?" And I said, "No, it wasn't me." He said, "Okay." And he just had got done texting me, and it said it was Dawsen. And I said, "Okay, did he get him?" And I looked up, and I thought, "God, there's a deer coming." And I know that had a G3 broke off.
Yeah.
And I know there's 2 deer. One of them I was hunting. The other one was I hope I didn't see him because he needs to live another year. He's one of those.
It's one of those.
Right?
You need to pass him, but you just don't know if you got it in him.
That's right. So, and it happened really quick. He was almost by me. So I pulled my gun up, and when I got up, I was sitting on my hind end against a tree. And when I got up, he had done got behind another tree. So I had to get on my knees and move my shooting stick over, and he was getting ready to leave.
Yeah.
Right.
And I pulled the trigger, and he was gone. I thought, oh, gosh. did I make a good shot? Did I not? You know.
Yeah.
And Landon, he heard me shoot. He come down there. He said, "I'll come help you." I said, "Okay." And I was looking, could not find no blood nowhere, and I thought, I don't know if I hit him or not. You know. And finally got around, but I was looking kindly a little bit above because he's probably, I know this sound, I mean, he's over 100 yards through woods, where he was at. And got down there, and I thought he was close to a stump. I kept that stump in my focus.
Just a mental marker, yeah.
Right. So I went around there, and I could not find nothing. But we ended up walking around, and he was actually a little bit below that. And he didn't run 40 yards, I guess, from where I shot him. But he went behind an old log there and just laid down. But it was an 8-point, and I had him on camera, and I had a 9-point that had a G3 broke. And that's the one I was really wanting. I know that was one of the two, but it happened so quick I couldn't tell which one.
I got you.
So, and I ended up getting that deer, and I was tickled with him.
Gosh, yeah.
You
That was a good deer.
He was a good. I mean, he was a decent deer.
Yep.
Gosh, yeah.
Needed another year, for sure. I mean, I think, but it's one of those things. I mean, get him or not. You know,
That's it.
Right.
So,
Whenever they come in fast like that,
That's right.
that's very hard to do. And I mean,
If I see more than 2 horns like that, all of a sudden they're probably getting shot at. I don't know if I'm going to hit them, but I'm going to at least scope check them anyhow.
That's it.
we're going to sling something at them, ain't we?
Yeah,
That's
he
right.
he was probably 3-year-old. He needed to be. I mean, he needed one more year really. He had good horns. He just didn't no mass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
But I know it was one of the two.
Well, the other deer, did it make it?
No, me and my son was actually hunting that deer, and that morning we had a guy at Texas, and his grandpa ended up killing it. And it was Grayson Stafford's grandpa ended up killing that deer.
Gotcha,
Heck
gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah, and if anybody else is gonna kill it, I'd have said, I'm glad he did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that
Absolutely.
Thompson? Lee Thompson? Is that the one?
Yep, Lee Thomas.
Lee Thomas up there on Birchfield Creek.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
That's
sir.
who killed that deer.
Oh,
Yep.
heck.
And
Heck yeah.
That's a good guy. He's
Yeah.
a good fella.
I'm glad. I mean, if anybody else, nobody's got a deer. It's theirs. You know what I mean? But
no, it's everybody's deer until you wrap your hands around them
Absolutely.
horns.
But I'm
That's
glad
it.
he got it.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
glad he
heck
got
yeah.
it.
Till you punch that tag, it's fair game.
Yeah, it's fair game. It's
Yeah.
everybody's deer. Well,
Yeah.
we were hunting over here this year. Had a beautiful 10-point on camera, and he just disappears. And 2-3 weeks later, my buddy, probably 10, 12 miles down the road, sends me a picture. He's like, "Man, look what just showed up on my camera. It's that same deer." And what happened, he was a 4-year-old. There were 2 big 5-year-olds in the area. He got his butt whooped, even though he was definitely superior
Bigger,
genetics.
heavier deer.
Yeah, he had bigger horns, but he had a lot less body. And they run his butt out of there. And he went 10, 12 miles. And they ended up killing him on a hunting club over there next to my buddy Sam's place. But it was a beautiful deer, but you never know with these things. You can stake claim to them all you want to, but until you wrap your hands around them, it ain't yours.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
until you punch
Yeah.
that tag.
No, it ain't yours.
Well, have you
Yet to
still
see
got
one
pictures
of
of the one that was hit by the car?
I don't have pictures of that deer, but
That was the one you missed, wasn't it?
that was the one I missed.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
He
You're
didn't-
welcome.
He didn't miss
You're
it.
welcome.
He hit the limb.
That's true, yeah.
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 That I was
It's okay for everybody else to make excuses until it comes around to me. Ain't
He
that how it
dead
goes?
centered that tree, didn't he?
I
really
was a
did.
victim
That limb
of
was
nature
ridiculous.
tampering on that whole deal.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
was.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, boys.
Nature tampering.
I still have not been able to get to that tree limb to cut it out of that shooting lane.
Oh,
It's too freaking. I'm gonna cut the tree down. I'm just gonna cut the whole damn tree. I'm tired of messing with it, but I threatened after I done that. I told Dad, I said, "Well, I'm gonna get me a little plaque made, and I'm gonna go cut that tree limb. I'm gonna put it up in the gun shop in here.
Yeah.
Since
Yep.
I ain't got the deer head, at least I can do is
Heck
get
yeah.
the tree limb.
Yeah.
that's it.
But no, he
Oh,
was
man.
spotted the last day of bear season. They jumped him. He was laying down across on the other side of the mountain. He was still alive. He's not gonna make anything. I mean, he broke all to pieces. His back hips tore up, but
Yes.
he was still alive. That was December. What did the bear season go out on the 1st?
January 1st.
Yeah, so he was still alive January 1st, which is the end of deer season.
Yeah.
Nobody was going to kill him, so unless he just died of natural cause, and we didn't have that harsh of winter this year,
Right.
No,
I
yeah.
think he's going to make it. But
Yeah.
he won't be nothing compared to what he was this year.
Right.
And he's 150
His heart
inch.
might go down.
Well, the opposite side from where he was hit is going to be all messed up. I
Yeah.
mean, that's just.
Right.
And I'm laying the mineral to him. I'm laying protein to him, trying to do everything I can to help him recover. Not because I want to kill him, big horns, but you just want to see a deer like that. Those genetics, even if he's got bad horns next year, those genetics are still the same.
Absolutely.
That's right.
And he'll breed everything in that area. I mean, he was still trying to fight with a broke leg.
Right.
He was still coming in burled up, ready to go with a broke leg, but no, he's still around as far as I know. Nobody, like I said, nobody killed him. I'm 100% sure of that, and we never found him dead. I've got permission to be able to walk around that mountain, even though I don't hunt those areas.
Right.
I've got permission to be able to walk around and look for sheds and stuff, and I never found the sheds, but we never found him dead either, so
Right.
never seen any buzzards or anything like that.
Right.
So.
That's a good sign.
That's good.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe he'll come around, but we got a lot of deer coming up through the system, so to
Oh, yeah.
speak. We got
Yeah.
some more in the pipeline, so I don't know if they'll top that one, but we'll have some good deer this year
Oh,
on
yeah.
some of our other farms. That farm will probably have to rest a year or two, but we're gonna have some real good deer on some of our other places.
That's
Good
it.
deal.
South Carolina's going to be killer. this
South
year, I
Carolina is going to be on like Donkey Kong this
That's
year.
gonna
We
be
had
the place.
a lot of beautiful deer. We still have one absolute giant down there.
think. Oh yeah, that one you seen and that one time and never seen him again.
I saw him during bow season, and I didn't know it was him until after I went back and got the camera, because he come out at 70 yards, turned straight away, walked out to 125 and put his head down and stayed there until dark. I had to sit like 45 minutes after dark until he left the field, and I'm talking 160-inch deer.
That's a giant.
Mainframe 10-point,
That's a big
kickers, stickers. We've had pictures of him for 3-4 years. I mean, just and I mean when he's standing in the field, he's a man among boys for sure. I mean, he makes everything else look like a baby.
Big
Right.
old thing.
But it's one of those deer. When he come out, he turned away from me, and his horns were sticking out 3 inches on both sides of his butt. I mean, I'm just like, ooh, big deer. And if he would have come out and stopped, I had a crossbow. We don't have any bow stands down there because, I mean, bow season's only 15 days long. And then rifle season comes in. It's rifle season the rest of the year.
Right.
Well, muzzleloader for 10 and then rifle. But either way, you're shooting a long distance.
Yep.
So I took that crossbow down there. And, I mean, I'm holding 2-inch groups at 100 yards of that crossbow. I was fairly confident. He come out at 70 yards, and if he would have just come out and stopped for a second, I could have pinwheeled him.
Yeah.
But, son, he come out and, I mean, immediately turned straight away and just – he wasn't running. He was just walking with his head down because there's a bunch of does out in the field and stuff, and he just – I sat there and watched him for 45 minutes or better, and just I don't know. I almost had a heart attack. I'm sitting there just like, We've got the footage somewhere. It was kind of dark. The video footage is kind of dark.
But
because,
you can tell the mass of that deer.
yeah, and you can tell by my breathing that was a big deer. Yeah. The camera's a little shaky because I had it attached to the tree stand and the whole tree was shaking. But, I mean, it is what it is at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess that'll probably bring us into our last
That'll
break
bring
here.
us into our last break, and we will be back shortly with the Back 40 Skull Sessions podcast.
This segment of the Back 40 Skull Sessions podcast is brought to you by Realtree, the official camo pattern of the Appalachian Holler Hunters. Be sure and check out Realtree's newest pattern, Realtree Timber, to stay concealed all season long.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Back 40 Skull Sessions podcast. That was our last break. We're going to finish up here. Travis, you've been awful quiet over there today. That's uncharacteristic of you over there.
I'm sleepy.
You're sleepy.
Yeah, we've all wore out.
Yeah.
Well, it has. It's been a long day. Been a long day.
It's been a fun day, but a long one. But anyhow, I guess we're going into story time.
We're going
Might as
into
well make
story
it story
time.
time.
Let's hear a good lie to finish this whole thing off.
I got one of the best turkey hunting stories for me by far, because Little Trav, which is my brother-in-law, is a killer turkey hunter now.
Yeah.
I mean, he can kill some turkeys. But this was when he was about, I'm going to say about 14 or 15. And he said, hey, I want to go kill some turkeys. I said, can we go out to your place and see if I can get on some turkeys? And I said, sure. I said, we'll go out tomorrow and I'll let you see them, and we watch them, and then we'll come back and you can do whatever you think you need to kill one. Well, we go out there, and here comes 3 or 4 big strutters. I'm talking 3-year-old turkeys within 40 yards of us, and us in plain clothes.
Yeah.
And he's holding on to this cattle gate, holding on to it, and I feel it start going. And I looked over and I said, "Are you okay?" And he said, "No." So he said, "Can I please come back out here in the morning? Can I please come back out here?" And I said, "Sure, yeah." I said, I'll come pick you up and we'll come out here and get started. Well, I'm no turkey hunter.
Yeah.
When it comes to dogs, I know what's going on. I'm no turkey hunter. So I said, I'll go with you. I'll show you where the turkeys hang out every day. I know exactly where they hang out. I'm more than happy to go with you, and you do your thing. And he said, okay. So we go up there, and he said, do you care if I call right here? And I said, no, you do your thing, buddy. You do what you want to do.
Yeah.
And he hits that call, and we hear, blah, 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 3 or 4 different gobblers from 3 or 4 different directions.
Yeah.
So he automatically almost passes out because he's 15 and called, and here's 3 or 4 longbeards screaming at him. So we hurry up and set a decoy up. We got 2 hens and a Jake, and he hits the call, and it gobble, hits the call, gobble, hits the call, gobble. Then all of a sudden it hushes. He calls nothing, calls nothing, calls nothing. And he said, you care if we move? And I said, no. He said, well, just leave everything and let's go. So we're going to run and gun here.
Yeah.
Well, we take off, go down there, and we call, and we call, and we call. We walk about 3 miles. My dad owns right at 100 acres.
Yep.
So we walk about 3 miles and make a circle because we're killed by then.
Mm-hmm.
Make a circle and come back, and there sits his decoy, beat into 1,000 pieces. The hens have been raped repeatedly. I mean, you know how you have those little wire legs?
Yeah.
Yep.
They're all crinkled up inside of them, and the decoys, they pulled the pieces out of them everywhere.
Yeah.
And he said, look at my decoys. And I said, we got played.
We got played.
He said, how did that happen? Well, luckily, up from there we had a game camera for feeding deer, and you see us go by,
Yeah.
and then within 5 minutes of us going by, you see 4 longbeards coming that opposite way. So we go this way, and they're coming this way, and how we didn't.
Yeah, see
How
them
they
or
didn't
hear
see
them. Or,
us and get out of there, I don't know. But apparently we barely crossed each other's path. And they go up there and destroy his decoy. One of them was one of those little blow-up decoys.
Yeah.
And it was deflated for
Popped
sure.
it.
Oh yeah, it's done for.
So he was pretty disgusted about that. But now he is one of the better turkey hunters that I know. I mean, he definitely, from that point on, he really wanted to say, no, you're not beating up $60 worth of decoys no more.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Oh, you're right.
You're going to take that money back out of the flock, ain't you? You're going to play for blood.
That was probably my funniest turkey hunting episode, I guess. Other than when he actually killed, probably to date, one of the biggest birds he's ever killed. I mean, it was a monster.
Yeah.
But I was videoing it. The first turkey hunt that I'd ever videoed. And I'm videoing him, and that gobbler comes up at about 40 yards. Plenty of time to shoot,
Yeah.
Good distance to shoot. Well, he's strutting back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I start zooming in on little Trav, and you can see his finger. He puts it on trigger, takes it off, puts it on trigger, takes it off, puts it on trigger, takes it off, puts it on trigger, takes it off. And I look, and you can see his shirt doing this.
Heart's jumping out of his chest.
And he's wanting it to come on down to the decoy.
Yeah.
It gets about 5 yards from the decoy, and he goes, boom! And it's flopping around. He looked straight around at me and said, man, I couldn't hold out. I just couldn't hold out. I said, oh, it's your bird, go
Heck
get
yeah.
it. But that was a heck of a bird, a monster of a bird. And from that point on, he ain't slowed down. He's got turkey spurs hanging on everything he owns.
Yeah.
God, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I told y'all last time we done the podcast about whenever I used to guide some turkey hunts and do some stuff. one story I didn't get to tell you guys. I was dating this girl, and this is back in my God days. We got us a visitor coming in.
What are we doing?
What's up, buddy? But anyway, this was back when I was guiding turkey hunts, and I was dating this girl, and she wanted to kill turkey. Wanted to kill turkey. I may have told you this story.
I think you did. Yeah, I think you did.
And so I take her turkey hunting up here in one of the Christmas tree fields. And we got into a block of trees, and son, there's a big old tom out there strutting. And the trees were 8, 10, 12 foot tall, some of them just great big round Christmas trees. And so it worked perfect because we could stay 2 rows down from him, and I could keep a beat on him. We're sneaking up on him. We're going to get right up in his lap. And so I'm right in front of her, and I'm purring and calling and purring. And I don't know if he thought it was another tom coming or what, where I was purring at him. He turned and he come on a beeline. And I'm about 4 trees up from her, maybe 3 trees. And I get right to the side of this great big tree. It's probably, and this is a Christmas tree. This is a trimmed tree ready for harvest the next year. But it was probably 10, 12 foot tall and probably 10 foot around. And I heard the turkey on the other side of the tree. Just and then I'd hear him spit and drum. And he starts around the tree, so all I can do is stay on the other side of the tree from him. Meanwhile, she's sitting back there with the gun. And so here I come by. And then here comes the turkey by. And here I come by. Here comes the turkey by. And we're just circling this thing. Every time I come back, I'm like, shoot the damn turkey. Shoot the damn turkey. Because he's chasing me around the freaking tree. And we must have circled that tree, no kidding, probably 15 times or more. She never did pull the trigger on that bird. I finally stopped, and son, he just come all over me. I thought he was going to whoop a crap. I was just fed up with him chasing me around that tree. Because, every time I'd be like, shoot. And then I'd burn it, and son, it just around and around and around. And what I wouldn't have give to have somebody over on that other hill filming all this, because she's just watching me go by and the turkey go by, and me go by and the turkey go by. Never did get a shot off, but
man, I had a buddy of mine. He was hunting with this other guy, and it's so funny. But they was trying to kill a big bird on their land. It was private land they had leased, and they hunted together, and it was this other guy's turn to shoot. They took turns shooting birds, so they was hunting together, and there was this great big bird they couldn't ever get a shot on him, and that was the one they was after. So they went hunting this day, and they was calling turkey gobble, and they was trying to call him in, and it was, I think his name was Mike. It was his turn to shoot. He had a mouth call in his mouth. And my other buddy Ken, he was trying to call the turkey in, and they couldn't see it, and it gobbled and where they were set up, and Mike was pointed this way, and the turkey actually gobbled kindly over here, and they was afraid to move because there's a field kind of. Well, Ken was calling it in. He said, I see it. And he said, you could see Mike start shaking a little bit. And he said, I see it coming. He said, oh, it's big. It's that big one. And Mike couldn't see it yet, so he's sitting there. And he was getting nervous. He was shaking. And then he started breathing real hard. And he had a mouth call in his mouth, so he was going, and it finally come on around. And he's sitting there going, and it come on around, it was a Jake. He just throw his gun down and let the turkey go. But it was so funny. That was so funny. I just,
Lord God.
but Kim was telling me, oh, it's that big one. Oh, it's that big one.
that monster.
Yeah, so he knowed it was a Jake.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Oh,
I
man.
love seeing people get excited like that.
Son,
I love
it tickles me to death, son. I still get worked up when there's a big bird coming. I still catch myself, son. My heart's jumping around, my hands start shaking a little bit. There ain't nothing more exciting when you get a big turkey just gobbling his head off coming in, because they're shaking the ground. That's if you don't get excited, you need to quit, because that's the reason we do this.
Yes.
Well, guys,
Really
I think that's going to about wrap us up for today. Thank you guys for coming in and helping us do this podcast. We've enjoyed having you on here. And once again, thank everybody. I want to thank everybody for listening, all our listeners. We appreciate it. We got a lot of good feedback from the first one. Thank all our sponsors, Rowdy Energy, Vortex Optics, Bone Collector, Realtree, Federal Ammunition. We've got
Big and J
ton
Attractants.
everybody that helps support Appalachian Holler Hunters and
Onyx Hunt, Carhartt, Garmin.
And once again, thank everybody that helped us. Yeah, we've got a lot of people standing behind us, and we're very, very humbled by it. And we want to thank everybody that helped us put on this youth turkey competition. It was an awesome day. We're all tired. We're all whooped, but you couldn't ask for a better day.
Could not.
But once again, guys, if you're listening to this podcast, if you don't care, get on there, like, subscribe, look at our YouTube page, check out our videos, subscribe to our YouTube page, and if you don't care,
social media.
Yep.
Check it all out.
Get on your podcast listen, whether it's Apple or Spotify. Give us a rating and write us a review. Let us know what we can do better. Let us know what you think of the show.
Let us know what you want to hear us talk about.
Yeah, we're going
to be wondering what we're going to talk about.
Well,
but once we get rolling on something, it don't take long to get
comes around every year.
Knowing this bunch, we're always going to have a story of some kind to tell. But
that's right.
That's right.
I mean, I've been alive for 30 some odd years. And I've done something stupid every one of those.
There hadn't been the one time that there hadn't been something stupid. But once again, guys, we just want to thank you for listening, and we'll be back next week. But thank you for listening to our second episode of the Back 40 Skull Sessions podcast.
Thanks you so much. We
Thanks,
appreciate
guys.
everyone.
We'll see you.
Have a good one.
Over now.
Coyote chewing on a cigarette, pack of young boys going howling at the moon. Head darn ass sleeping on the blacktop.